These days, everyone is a brand. You kinda have to be. But when you're performing for just attention, that's when honesty dies. You know, I was driving the other day and a song came up from the legendary band Weezer. Their hit song called Pork and Beans. And strangely enough, the song sparked an idea. It lit a fire in my soul. Now, to my 4 loyal watchers out there, if you notice, I haven't posted a video in couple weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks or so, and you know, I've been feeling stagnant in both my professional and personal life, also in my creative endeavors. But you know, that song reminded me of something so simple yet so powerful, something I've always aligned myself with, and that's always to stay true to yourself and to your art. Now, I can't play the song here because the video will get demonetized and I'll lose out on 37 cents. But the message stuck with me. And yeah, I get the irony. I'm saying this all on YouTube where I'm showing my face and talking to you directly. But here's the difference between sharing yourself and performing a different version of yourself. And I'm going to say it right here. I'm not here to be a product. I'm here to be a person. And I think that's why the song Pork and Beans resonated so much with me. It's not about disappearing from the frame. It's just about not trying to fit in. Now, a lot of people in our community are mic'd up, rigged up, put a lot of emphasis on showing our faces, and the quality of the photos have become secondary. But here's the thing, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. In fact, it makes total sense. We're in an era where people connect more with the person behind the camera than the image itself. Just remember, your voice, your vibe, your values, they matter. So the issue that I have is, it isn't visibility that's the problem. It's more so performance. It's when being the photographer becomes more important than what you're trying to photograph. And the big umbrella to all this issues and problems within the street photography community is when you start creating for metrics instead of meaning, a persona built for engagement rather than a body of work built for truth. And that's kind of where the song Pork and Beans kind of ties into everything that I've just mentioned. Just do what you do, say what you mean, style or the way you do street photography because someone says make it more marketable, or that this image won't get into contests or won't get much views on Instagram. Just stay true to yourself and have fun with it. I know, easier said than done. I'm guilty of that too. But let's be real here. There's a reason why the POV rig guy and the Leica purists, the tote bag aesthetics are everywhere, because honestly, they attract the crowd. They work. But when everybody starts copying the same vibe, the same tight jeans, what? Using the same editing style, telling the same stories, the genre gets inflated and starts to collapse on itself. Street photography starts to feel like cosplay. Everyone is playing a character, trying to check off an aesthetic box to fit the trend. And I get it, in the past, I felt that pressure to fit the mold, to only post what may perform well, to shoot what even looks like street photography instead of what feels like mine. But the more you wear this costume for show, the more you lose who you really are. That's where I think a lot of people, not just in street photography community, but just in general, where people don't understand the concept of branding and marketing. Branding is a mirror of who you are, a reflection of who you are, not a mask. It should reflect on the vibe and values you stand for, not kind of hide away or blend in with the rest of the crowd over there. In today's day and age, you can still be distinct without being fake. Believe it or not, honest branding still exists. This opens up a whole new umbrella on top of the umbrella we were just talking about, and that is craving belonging. Everybody wants to feel like they fit in somewhere. That's natural human nature. Craving belonging, having an identity, and I think this is one of the main issues we have, not in just the street photography community, but society as a whole. This all ties into something bigger that I've been thinking about lately. In our culture today, specifically Western culture, a lot of people don't know who they really are and are afraid to even try to go down the road to discover who they are. As human beings, we crave belonging so bad that we'll do whatever it takes to feel accepted somewhere, even if it means borrowing our identity from someone else. We follow trends, we chase aesthetic, we mold our art and our personalities based on what may get a lot of likes or views. And here's a reminder, children, when you're chasing things that are popular, you forget what actually matters to you. That's the early stages of where you kind of lose yourself. And I don't know who's gonna take this advice, but I challenge you to refuse. A refusal to be shaped by people who don't even know you. It's about owning your own voice, even though it might be unpopular sometimes or maybe even weird. Yeah, especially when it's weird. I'm guilty of that. Which leads me to the contributing factor, maybe the main contributing factor of, craving belonging, loss of identity, not knowing who you are or what you stand for. And that's the fact that social media has warped reality. Social media hasn't just changed photography, it's changed our sense of what's real. The constant feed of curated perfection has put us all in an unrealistic state of mind that if your work doesn't go viral, it isn't valid. That if your life doesn't look a certain aesthetic, that it means that you're not successful. We replace presence with performance, real with fake. Comparison with other photographers or with other people has become automatic, and slowly, without realizing it, we begin measuring our worth by engagement, not expression. But here's the truth and the crazy part to all of this. Most of what you see online is just a highlight reel. And unfortunately, the longer you keep chasing that illusion, the more disconnected you become from your own point of view. So how do you tackle this issue? I say embrace what you're good at and who you are. It's called your unfair advantage. I don't know if that has any truth to it, but I'm sticking with it. And ultimately, in this digital age that we're all living in, this metaverse matrix, how do you become a street photographer without losing the person? Here's the real challenge. How do you show yourself without performing? How do you brand without selling out? You do it by telling the truth in your work, in your presence, in how you show up on and offline, because being a street photographer in 2025 means more than just being a good shooter. It means being a storyteller, an editor, a voice, and that's a lot to carry, I know. And it could be tempting to pick up shortcuts instead, like presets, trends, AI edits, clickbaits. But here's the thing, I think the long game still matters. The honest game. The game where your work reflects who you are today, not just what will pop on reels tomorrow. So you need to come to terms with yourself and say, I'm not playing your game. I'm not chasing your algorithm. I'm building something slow, real, and mine. Me personally, I'd rather grow crooked and authentic than grow straight and hollow. So if you made it up to this point and any of this resonates with you, I challenge you to reclaim your honesty. In an age of exposure, and being honest with your work and who you are is a lot harder to do than people realize, especially where everything's being watched, ranked, and compared. So how do we stay honest then? You need to unplug more often. Post less and observe more, whether with or without your camera. We shoot without always turning it into content. We build archives, not algorithms. Look at your own work and ask yourself, is this really me? Or is this just what performs? And by doing that, you give yourself permission to be real. Even if it's a little bit quiet, no movement. Because looping back the song, Weezer, Pork and Beans, the song isn't about silence, it's about defiance. The song is saying and reminds us to do things our way. I'ma do the things that I wanna do. Even when nobody's showing up, clapping, or watching. And if someone does clap, cool, great, but it's not the reason why we're doing it. See, here's the thing, street photography used to be honest, and I still have hope that it can be. We just need to slow down long enough to remember what it was like just to see, without the pressure of pressing the shutter button and posting it on Instagram to see if anybody likes our photos or not. And which brings me to my last point, with the rise of AI. I'm not excited for this, but the tension is only going to get worse. I'm seeing it today. There's publications posting AI imagery, organizations promoting their street photography contests using AI images. And if we don't change ourselves now, we're going to enter a very dark space. I mean, we're already entering an era where a portfolio portfolio can be generated without ever stepping outside. Where winning a contest doesn't require, pressing that shutter button. Just a well-crafted prompt. And in a time like this and moving forward, the only thing that would really separate us is our own point of view. Not the lens, not the presets, not the polish, just the honesty and the soul behind your work. And sooner or later, authenticity will soon feel like a rebellion. Slowness will feel like resistance. And those of us like you and I who stay true to ourselves, we might not go viral overnight, but we'll float to the surface eventually. But because even in an ocean full of imitation, truth has a way of rising, my friend. If you've been feeling stagnant, trust me, I understand. That feeling as a creative, as a street photographer, comes and goes. But remember to not give up and not give in. And don't wait for the right time or wait for permission to make something honest. And I highly suggest you choose that energy as well. Let me know in the comment section down below, does the future of street photography in particular look bleak, with many people shooting for algorithms and what performs best? Is the lack of belonging and identity crisis a real thing in our society and in street photography? Do you have other suggestions on how we can combat this? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, hit that notification bell as well, and anytime I post new video or content, you will be notified. And again, stay true to yourself, shoot what feels good to you, and stay safe.